Welcome back, dear students. Today in this video we are going to talk about the last chapter in module 3, that is data visualization. So what is data visualization? What are the important aspects related to data visualization will be studied in this chapter. So we'll go through this. It is a small chapter in your syllabus, so we'll finish it in some 10 to 15 minutes. So what is data visualization? So as you can see, data visualization is again art and science of making data easy to understand and consume for the end user. So what you are doing here, as the word visualization mentions, you are visualizing data in different context. So you are based on the end user requirement, so you are weaving data in different context. That is called as data visualization. So data visualization, as it is said, it is an art and science of making data easy to understand. That word is important. Easy to understand and consume for the end user. So ideal visualization shows the right amount of data in the right order. So what is the aim of visualization? Perfect visualization, it is to show right amount of data in the right order, in the right visual form. So what are the different visual forms we will study in this chapter. So right visualization require an understanding of consumers' needs. So if you want to visualize your data for your business upliftment, then you should get to know what are the requirements of your consumers, what are the needs of your consumers, and what is the nature of the data that you are having, and what are the tools that are available to you to present your data. Okay, so these are the important things and definition of data visualization that we have studied in this slide. So in the next slide, so data visualization is the last step in data life cycle. So in the last chapter we have studied about data mining. There we have learned many steps, and at the end of that data mining step, one of the important thing is in accordance with data is data visualization. So data visualization helps us to know what is the end results of the data for the user, right? So data visualization is the last step in the data life cycle. This is where the data is processed for presentation in an easy to consume manner. So I told you about pattern mining in the last chapter. So this is where data visualization comes into picture. So your data is represented in terms of pattern or in terms of other uniform methods. So that is called as data visualization. So the data should be converted into a language and format that is best preferred and understood by consumer of the data. So that is very important. Then coming to excellence in visualization. So data can be presented in form of rectangular tables, or it can be presented in the form of colorful graphs and of various types. Small non-comparative highly labeled data sets usually belongs in table. So these all things are there, and Tufte, a pioneering expert on data visualization, presents the following objectives for graphical excellence. So this is one of the important question here. What is the question? So what are the objectives for graphical excellence in data visualization? This question can be asked for 8 marks, 6 to 8 marks. So what are the 8 points? First point is show and even reveal the data. So what is the first objective of data visualization? You have to show and reveal the data. Okay, next point, induce the viewer to think of substance of the data. So you have to make the viewer, the format of the graph should be so natural to the data that it hides itself and lets the data to shine. Okay, then the third point, avoid distorting what the data have to say. That is, statistics can be used to lie. In the name of simplifying, some crucial context could be removed, leading to distorted communication. So that should be avoided. Then making large data sets coherent. So by giving them a shape to data, visualizations can help bring the data together to tell a comprehensive story. Then encouraging the eyes to compare different pieces of data. So you have to organize the chart in such a way that eyes would naturally move to derive insights from the graph. So usually you will see run rate in cricket. So how the first innings team has batted, how the second innings team has batted. There you will see the graph, and you will come to know that which team is lagging behind and which team is performing better at that stage. So that is an example for this. Then coming to the next point, and reveal the data at several levels of detail. So you should make several levels of details and you should reveal the data at each and every level, right? Then serve a reasonably clear purpose. You have to be in a clear purpose for informing or to take decisions. Okay, then closely integrate with the statistical and verbal descriptions of the data set. So there should be no separation of charts and text in presentation. Each mode should tell a complete story here. So intersperse text with map or graphic to highlight the main insight is one of the important thing here. So these are the 8 objectives of excellence in data visualization. This is an important question. Coming to the next type of question, the question may be asked as types of charts. So what are different types of charts? You have line graph. So what is line graph? As you all know, this is a basic and most popular type of displaying information. So it shows data as a series of points connected by straight line segments. So if mining with time series data, time is usually shown on the x-axis. Multiple variables can be represented on the same scale on y-axis to compare the line graphs of all the variables. So this is line graph. You know what is line graph. Then scatter plot. So what is scatter plot? This is another very basic and useful graphic form. So it helps to reveal the relationship between two variables. And what is bar graph? Bar graph, as you all know, it shows thin, colorful, rectangular bars with their lengths being proportional to the values represented. Then stacked bar graphs. So these are a particular method of doing bar graphs. Values of multiple variables are stacked here, one on the top of the other. So this is one of the improved version of bar graph. Then the next one is histogram. So there are these bar graphs, except that they are useful in showing data frequencies or data values. So you know histograms, you have learnt it in very well in digital image processing. You have solved problems on that. That is histogram. Then pie charts you have. What are pie charts? So these are very popular to show the distribution of a variable such as sales by region, etc. Then the size of a slice is representative to relative strengths of each value. Then another example is box charts. So box charts, these are special forms of charts to show the distribution of variables. Then bubble graph, this is an interesting way of displaying multiple dimensions in one chart. Then you have something called as dials. Dials, these are charts like the speed dial in the car that shows whether the variable value is in low range, medium range or high range. Then geographical data maps. So these are maps. These maps are particularly useful maps to denote statistics like corona outbreak in a given geographical area, like that. Then you have pictographs. One can use pictures to represent data even, so that is called as pictographs. So these are several examples. This is the first one is pie chart. Second one is polar graph, bubble graph, scatter graph, line graph, bar graph, area graph, then Gantt chart, then high-low candlestick, then box whisker, then time series. These are several types of charts. Then this is, as I've already told, this is geographical data map. So it can be used to, this has been observed to US tweet map. Then this is something called as pictograph of water footprint. So these are several examples of types of charts. So this is one probable question, right? So what are the types of charts that are useful in data visualization? So you need to require to answer these types. How many types you have? You have 11 types. This question may be asked for 6 to 8 marks. Okay. Then coming to next part, visualization example. So to demonstrate how each of the visualization tools could be used, you can imagine an executive for a company who wants to analyze the sales performance of his division. So you have a figure in a textbook. Go through it. This is not so important for exam, so I am skipping it. So there you are being given with some values. Then you have to ask to draw some graphs, that is pie chart and bar graphs, etc. Then you are made to see the results through phase 1 and phase 2. That is discussed in your chapter textbook. That is not so important for example, so I am skipping this. Then the last part of this chapter, that is tips for data visualization. So to help the client in understanding the situation, we can consider the following important points. That is, fetch appropriate and correct data for analysis. So you have to fetch appropriate, most appropriate and even correct data for only correct data for analysis. Then sort the data in the most appropriate manner, so that it could be sorted by numerical variables or alphabetically by names. So sorting the data will get your work done by half. Then choose appropriate method to present the data. Then the data could be presented as a table, or it could be presented as any of the graph types. Then the data set could be pruned to include only the more significant elements. Then the visualization could show additional dimension for reference, such as expectations or targets. Even targets can be set here. Then numerical data may need to be binned into few categories. Binning means categorizing into choices. You can categorize based on sizes or any other dimension. Then high level visualization could be backed by more detailed analysis. So for the significant results, a drill down may be required at the stage. Then there may be need to present additional textual information to tell the whole story. So that is, for example, one may require notes to explain some extraordinary results. So that is another tip for data visualization. So these are the 8 tips for data visualization. So that's all in this chapter. So in this chapter we have learnt about data visualization. So data visualization, as we have seen, it is the last phase of data life cycle, and it leads to the consumption of data by the end user. So it should tell an accurate, complete and simple story backed by data, while keeping it insightful and engaging. So there are innumerable types of visual graphing techniques. We have seen some 11 techniques available for visualizing data. Then the choice of the right tools requires a good understanding of business domain. Then the data set and the client needs are also required to choose a type of chart here. Then there is an ample of room for creativity to design even more compelling data visualization to most efficiently convey the insights from the data. So these are all things you should remember in this chapter. That is the 2 important questions we have discussed here: objectives of data visualization and type of charts. And also the last part, we have learnt about the considerations or tips for data visualization. These 3 questions might appear in your final exam paper or in internal paper. So all the best, read well. So this will mark the end of module 3. I'll come up with module 5 videos. So till then, take care. Have a nice day. Thank you.